All right, let's get into the game here. On the draw. And solid hands. We're going to keep it. Obviously, we'd always love to be on the play, but... All right, so our opponent's on control. Main deck duress. Smart man. We're going to pay 2 life, drop Llanowar Elves, and next turn we can drop Domri, which is really nice. Just get it on the board here. We didn't have like an amazing play we could do anyway, and I like holding the Growth Chamber Guardian until we could actually like activate it immediately. So yeah, we can just play a Phoenix if we want, or get in with Llanowar Elves. He is holding up 3 mana, so we can, but we have 2 Phoenixes in hand, and he knows that though. Oh, we can't counter it. Right, so he would have to just kill it and then kill it again. All right. Let's pay 2 life. Drop Phoenix. Not great sequencing, but I kind of had to do it once I started the play. Smash your opponent for 2. Yeah, I like Domri because he makes your Llanowar Elves actual beaters. And I don't think he's going to be fighting anything, but that is an option. Alright, so let's beat down for 7. And the second Phoenix is going to be real bad for him. Okay, he's got the Vraska's Content. Usually they don't have stuff like that. More and more decks are actually not playing them and moving towards like the hero version. So we're going to make a red and play Phoenix, or they're trimming down on copies, thinking like the Narset can find them. You know, all very reasonable decisions, but you know, having 4 Phoenixes in our deck, even if they have all like 4 Vraska's Content, is still difficult for them to make it match up with our Phoenixes, all while dealing with, you know, our other things. And even if he has a Content right now, we still get in with Llanowar Elves, and you know, we're not afraid or anything. I think Ambush gets cut against control. So as much as I'd like to play Growth Chamber Guardian, I want to have mana up for him. We're just going to add a green and play Llanowar Elves. And we might expect from our opponent something like end of turn kill Phoenix and untap Kaya's Wrath, but I feel like he would have just... Okay, mission briefing. Well, you don't have enough mana for that, so... Because it's not on, like, until your end step or something, right? Yeah, it would just be to Surveil. Okay. He just cast a bad instant. This is bad. A bad card. Alright, so we're against control. Maybe Esper, maybe just blue-black. What goes in is a probably easier question than what comes out. So into Dire Fleet Daredevils for his good spells, in Vivian Reeds for the grind, and Domri's. What comes out? Domri's Ambush, most likely. Like, it is playable, but there are better things you could be doing. The Shocks. Are there any other changes we'd like to make to our deck? Honestly, this might just look like the perfect red-green deck against control. Maybe we take out some Domri Anarch of Bolas for something else. Like if we're expecting, what's it called? Is it Thraben Inspect? No. Thraben Inspector? The flying 2/2? Something Spy? I don't know. The flying 2/2 that when it hits you takes something. Like this could be a reason to bring in Collision Colossus if we know it's coming in. Or in Brontodon for an extra threat. Or change the amount of Domris. Because we're not really fighting any creatures. It just is an Anthem effect. Maybe bring in the one Brontodon. Exiling this graveyard probably doesn't matter. I don't know. Like, I can't imagine. I imagine Domri's better than Shock. Like, Domri is going to deal at least 2 damage, right? It's tough. Let's just run Domri and see how he does. I haven't quite played the new Domri against the control deck before. And also given, like, we have, what, like 10 Planeswalkers or something in our deck. Alright, so this is a decent hand. We don't have a turn 1 land or elves. And we're on the draw, though. So we could maybe top deck a Forest. I wouldn't consider that as part of the plan. But other than that, like, you know, we have turn 2 Growth Chamber Guardian. So our opponent is mulling down to 5, which is obviously good news for us. Yeah, we'll just go turn 2 Growth Chamber into turn 3 threaten to activate him or play something. That seems good. That Spellbreaker is great. I might want to get the War Boss down first. Ooh, okay, Field of Ruin. So maybe he is just blue-black. And yeah, he won't have an immediate answer to the War Boss. So I'm down to just land him while I can. Alright, he's got the Scorn, but we still kept the token out of the whole ordeal. So now, unfortunately don't have double green, so we couldn't go like, you know, Land or Elves plus him, or Land or Elves plus activate Growth Chamber. He probably is playing some Rituals of Soots. I kind of like getting in for 3 here, and even though the value play is certainly to hold up Adapt mana, we have double Phoenix in our hand, and if we play it, our opponent's like best play is less so Ritual of Soot. Oh, and he's a little messed up on mana too. Haha, we got nothing, kid. I guess you maybe keep interact. Nah, like unless you're really restricted on your early game interaction, I don't see much of a reason. Unless he knows our list card for card, which, you know, is possible. It is a Huey deck, but I haven't seen it run around that much. Let's run another match because that was a very quick one. And we'll see. Like, because, you know, we did get a little lucky. We were playing against not as popular of a control deck. All right. Against Good Night. I think one matchup I really don't know how to navigate with this deck is just against, like, that Bant's Ramp deck. I don't have enough experience playing against that. We're on the play here. We have a turn 2 Growth Chamber Guardian, and we have 2 draw steps to hit our 3rd land, and once we hit our 3rd land, we're gas. And we have a Domri's Ambush that we could possibly use on Growth Chamber Guardian, which also fetches another Growth Chamber Guardian. So I think this is a keeper here. Yeah, let's just run it to him. Got the Land or Elves. So you can go Growth Chamber or Thorn Lieutenant. They each have their own merits, and it's hard to tell just off Forest, Land or Elves, like what deck he's playing. But Growth Chamber Guardian has the potential to beat down for more and like punch through more, and it works well with the Domri's Ambush. So I'm gonna go with that play. But if he, you know, drops a mountain all of a sudden, it makes me regret playing him. Or yeah, or like if he had a swamp plus whatchamacallit, Moment of Craving. All right, so we're playing against either black green or Sultai. Yeah, and the reason why Domri's Ambush is so good is that it's not fighting; it just deals damage equal to power. So I get to keep my Growth Chamber Guardian, even though it was like, if it was fighting, I would have lost it and 2-for-1 myself. We are obviously struggling for lands here in a matchup that we really have to be ahead, because the longer it goes into the mid-range game, the better grip he has on it. So what's the better play here? We can play Llanowar Elves, which possibly opens up some like bigger turns. But the reality is the bigger turns are just also about being efficient. So I like just dropping one of these 2 drops here. And I think it either goes to Thorn Lieutenant. I think it goes to the Growth Shaper Guardian in case we hit our 3rd land. And he plays like something that we need to threaten to punch through. Alright, so he's on Sultai. Hostage Taker. Okay. That is unfortunate. This is a bad matchup as it is, and we are stumbling real hard right now. But that can help. So we can play Domri plus Llanowar Elves, and that's okay. Can we or we could play Domri fight. Ooh, we could Domri fight Hostage Taker. I like that. Develops our Domri, gets our board back, keeps the Guardian out of his hands. I don't know if I like attacking Growth Chamber Guardian here just because he could trade with Llanowar Elves, but then again, he doesn't want to do that, and I don't think he might not even. It does give him the choice of doing that, but like it's not a fun choice to make, and we have a thing to block to defend Domri Rod. And yeah, we're already maxed out on that as a 3/1. Like you can't adapt it anymore anyway. All right, so here's Tamiyo. Maybe he's playing like Dread Horde stuff. Yeah. All right, so he's playing Command the Dread Horde. Not really sure what to do from here. He could command back some stuff, but the lower his life total, the more dangerous it is. So maybe it's just about dealing the most amount of damage possible. But if we, let's see. All right, so if we could smash him for 5. Yeah, we could play a War Boss, smash him for 5, or I think neither way we're gonna shock ourselves, and we're gonna up Domri for a red. So we have 5 mana, and we can go Spellbreaker would be 4. We could 7 him, and then he can only go for 5 and get like a Hostage Taker, put him at a low life total, or we could go War Boss and 5 him. I think Spellbreaker also lets us play Thorn Lieutenant well. So let's do that. Play a hasty one. Maybe I'm dumb for like ignoring Tamiyo. I'm a little unsure, but I feel like if we pressure his life total enough, he can't really cast a good Dread Horde. He doesn't have anything to like gain him life, so it's very much like cast Hostage Taker and go to 1 or something stupid like that. And we have, you know, between Domri's fight ability and you know, a hasty token from War Boss and being able to adapt, like we have a lot of versatility. Oh snap, I didn't realize I could get back any card. Oops. Okay, that was stupid of me. So drop War Boss and move to combat. Do we hit him for 2 or Tamiyo for 2? We hit Tamiyo for 2. Stop that finale business. And up here, drop Llanowar Elves. And our opponent is facing down lethal. But he's going to have some answer. Even if it is Hostage Taker. Like Command the Dread Horde, Hostage Taker. my Llanowar Elf or something. But he could find finality with Tamiyo. But yeah, I would still... I think I'm still happy that I smashed his face. I don't know. Okay. He might have the 1/3 that could gain him a bunch of life. Yeah, Wild Growth Walker. The card is hella annoying. Oh my god. Alright, we have the Rekindling Phoenix to hit this guy, but that just... He's allowed to Dread Horde now. And that might just, like, end us. Because he could, like, Hostage Taker the Phoenix and all this stuff. So, have it fight a Wild Growth Walker here. Get a token. Token has to attack. And we'll have 3 attackers, so we can like send 3 guys in and finish off the Tamiyo, I guess. Or dealing 2 damage to him won't do anything. Rather not lose War Boss. Ooh, this is so tough. Like, I guess the question is, do we go back on the grind against this deck, or do we just, like... I don't think we could outgrind this deck and, like, sideboard differently. I think, if anything, we bring in, like, Lava Coils and just hope to exile the right things and kill, like, his walkers and... yeah, his walkers and, like, Hostage Takers and stuff. But I think it might be foolish to try and outgrind him so much. But my patience is running low. Okay. That's a million life. We'll just save some time here. Okay, so we need to deal with kind of like a lot of the cards that we have going. But I think we bring in Lava Coils. Do we bring in Direfleet Daredevil to, like, snag his Dread Horde stuff? Maybe Sentinel Totem's not bad. Any flyers? He's probably playing Hydroid Krasis, but he's gonna have I don't know. All right, so Domri, do we like him? Yes. Yes. Okay. Shocks are probably bad, even though he has Llanowar Elves. Like, that's the only good target. And maybe, like, lower an ambush. Yeah, he'll have more removal. Direfleet for Command the Dread Horde is an 8 mana play, but might just, like, win us a game is the silly part. And that could be, like, I guess a fail-safe button. And it does just also exile. Oh wait, it's just an instant sorcery though. And this is post Dread Horde, where he probably gains a bajillion life. So maybe it is just too late. Yeah, let's just roll with this. I think it's tough as to whether or not you bring in the Direfleet, but I don't think it's realistic to be able to manage the board after that. Even if we get to cast one of our own, he got all the good stuff, and I don't know. All right, this hand's pretty iffy. We get to deal with some of the earlier drops, and we're on the play with no early plays. So we're gonna mulligan. And this hand's bad too. Actually worse. And this is a thing, but This sucks. I'll just save some time here and concede. And run it again. Okay, we'll play first. This hand sucks. This hand sucks. And this hand sucks, but better. We'll keep it, even though we want a red. Oh, wait. Oops. Yeah, we're on the play. Never mind. We shouldn't have kept that. Drop a Thorn Lieutenant. Actually, no, I think it was questionable. We're against control. Let's just, I probably should have just conceded right there. I don't know. We weren't on full control mode. Okay, second Thorn Lieutenant. I guess we'll just find out if our opponent's Esper Hero, Esper Control. Doesn't tell us that much, but tells us something. If you want to bounce back and do it, I think I get an elf. Yeah. So you can just bounce back nothing, or plus. That's an option too. And we'll drop a Llanowar Elves here. We kind of just lose to Akaya's Wrath at this point. And 2 at him, 3 at his face. And yeah, I'm not playing Growth Chamber Guardian without the mana to back it up to evolve it, adapt it. All right, sweet, we get an elf. Teferi still dies. He saved his face for some reason and not the Teferi. Maybe he has another one. All right, Elite Guard Mage. That defends well. If we rip a red, nope. Yeah. We just pass. I guess, you know, I don't think they main deck Kaya's Wrath usually when they're playing Elite Guard Mage, so let's drop the Growth Chamber Guardian here. And if he points a single target removal spell at it, that's fine. Hostage Taker, though, that is far worse than any single targeted removal spell, because now he'll have it. And let's just scoop. This is miserable. And now we got Vivians, Domries, and Direfleet. We might want Brontodon, but out with Domries Ambush and out with Shocks. And now our deck's perfect. So we just have to make our opponent hate himself as much as we hate him right now because of that. Like, this is the second miserable game in a row where, like, our deck's very reasonable. We have, like, 24 lands, I think. You know, well-balanced color-wise and everything. Like, our deck is not greedy in terms of mana at all. And we just never hit good hands. All right, our opponent mulled to 5. These are terrible games of Magic I've been recording, so probably going to chop up and use some matches here and there, because like there have been matches where like one game is great, like just a good interesting game where it actually demonstrates a normal game, followed by like a game 2 of garbage, or you know, preceded by game 1 of garbage. So we're gonna get in for 2. Drop him out in Oh, we should have frick, we should have war bossed here. Let's just drop a Llanowar Elves in that case and not play the war boss. I'd rather get immediate value out of him. Alright, so we'll swing in for 2 and drop a Phoenix. If your opponent has D-Spark, okay, he doesn't. That is a good answer to Phoenix. He's got the Elite Guard Mage, okay. Our Vivian's an answer to it, but we don't have enough mana. We can drop Legion War Boss and swing with Token, Lieutenant, and Phoenix. He's probably playing Kaya's Wrath in his deck. So you're playing into that, which normally I wouldn't be so okay with. But if we're just playing War Boss, like that's the last. Yeah, we're close to the point where like we can just take over the board regardless of board wipe. So let's just swing with these 3. All right, command the Dread Horde. That is a great answer to what we're doing. All right, we have Domri, which can fight off the Guard Mage and then swing Phoenix. That seems fine. Target creature control. They control dead. And then get in for 5. All right, Hero of Precinct 1, solid card. And we can either double block and save Domri, but like risk just getting blown out by a removal spell. We would get an elf off the removal spell. And with either Llanowar Elves or Domri dead, we're probably not dropping a Vivian Reed next turn anyway. But I don't know. I kind of like saving the Domri if we can. We do have like pretty solid grind with the Vivian Reeds. Yeah, let's do this double block here. See what happens. Maybe next game we bring back in we bring in Lava Coils. All right. So he has an answer. And that's okay. We up Domri to get a green. Now we have 4 mana. We could Tyrant Scorn his Hero of Precinct 1, which I kind of like. Just as a way to knock it off the table before it gets out of hand. Yeah. Do we want to chump the zombie? Or just let it eat the Domri? No, I like chumping the zombie. It was a free token anyway. Our opponent is close to dead though. Alright, Teferi's gonna tuck the Phoenix probably. And then, let's see, Elf chumps zombie. No? Okay. So now, if we play Spellbreaker, we can just play him immediately, have him fight something. Like, we can get this Teferi off the board, but it'll cost us a little bit. So we can, like, send the Spellbreaker in as a 3/3, or no, as a 4/4, have it fight a token, or have it fight the zombie, and then beat both in at Teferi, which just means we already got value of him, so it's not the worst trade in the world. I think it's fine. Like, obviously we wouldn't want to make this play, but we're a little tight on lands right now. All right. Target creature you control, target creature you don't control. They fight. Goodbye Domri. And then send both in at Teferi. He could trade with the elf if he wants, but either way Teferi is dead. Man, we are screwed on lands, even though we have double Vivian, which, if the sooner we get out, the better. And our opponent might even just ignore them because we're so screwed on mana. Yeah. All right, Elite Guard Mage. All right, we're close to playing Vivian. I'm just gonna run the Growth Chamber Guardian out here. We are, like, nothing is going to happen if we don't activate it right now. And he's going to Hostage Taker, which means he has huge clackers considering, like, Phoenix is coming out next turn. So he definitely has an answer to it. Assuming, you know, he's a good player. So let's drop the Phoenix here and watch it get, like, desparked or something. Or Hostage Takered. Oh, nice. All right, so he's got the Guard Mage at 13. Vivians aren't even that good right now, but it would be nice to be able to play them. Yeah, I think Phoenix might be just on blocking duty. I think a lot of our creatures might just be, we're just on blocking duty for a moment. Maybe if we can shoot something out of the sky, things will be a little different, but for now. All right, so we'll drop out Vivian here and shoot down that Thief of Sanity, because that's a card that will get out of hand real quick, and then he could send in both of a lot of things and, like, kill Vivian, which is unfortunate for us considering how much value potential Vivian can have. We kind of, like, we're in situations where maybe even if I play her now and shoot her down, he has 5 attackers, I would have 4 blockers. So maybe we hold off on Vivian number 2 for a moment and just, like, activate our Growth Chamber Guardian. Rather not have to defend Vivian. Okay, let's send in these guys. Hopefully he doesn't have a removal spell in response to my adapt, because that would get me pretty good. So I wouldn't get my next Growth Chamber. And then so we could run out the second one without, he didn't have a removal spell beforehand, and he has 1 card in hand. So I'm cool running it out here. It's the less conservative play, but, you know, all right, he's going to grab the Vivian, and there goes that. But we couldn't play it last turn because it would just shoot down the Guard Mage, which we don't necessarily care about that much, but it would have to shoot it down to, like, protect itself, but then ironically die. Or plus, and then maybe it would put him actually in maybe we should have played it in plus. But for now, let's just get in there with the boys. So Hero has 1 less toughness but generates more blockers, whereas Hostage Taker, like, Hostage Taker does Stonewall or Direfleet Daredevil, which I think is actually a consideration here. So I think we're actually going to go like this and keep his hero around. It's very hard for him to chain that many spells, but then again, he can just like rip it to fairy and that all changes, you know? All right, so as it stands, if we play Growth Chamber Guardian, I think specifically because we have Phoenix out and that's so hard to deal with, we can overextend. This Llanowar Elves literally does nothing anyway. And now we don't want to swing with our 2-1 quite yet, but we'll kind of force him to chump block. All right, yeah, so we'll take out his flyer and then pump Growth Chamber, grab the last one. Or no, we don't have any left. Still pump it anyway to take out the better creature. Our opponent is at 1. And yeah, if we just play Thorn Lieutenant and he plays Kaya's Wrath, we're okay anyway. So I'm just gonna play it. Basically, our opponent has to go like Elite Guard Mage, looping. And on to game 3. Game 1 we just lost because we had nothing. These lava coils, do they come back? Do they come in? Instead of maybe Domri, we'd have lava coils for Elite Guard Mages, Thief of Sanity. Domri also acts as a removal spell for those too. Yeah, I think we just run it as is. I don't know, I always like burp and stuff, like always when I'm recording. It's like my every bodily function just goes wrong. So this hand's abysmal, but like we go turn 2 Growth Chamber, turn 3 activate. As long as we get that turn 3 activate, the hand's fine, which is the funny part. But we are on the draw, and our opponent will have 3 mana by the time we can even activate Growth Chamber. Like, it's not a good hand, but Growth Chamber can make it a good hand. But we're gonna mulligan this. If we had one more spell, I would keep it. This hand's much better. Still a little concerning about the not having a land thing. But we are on the draw, so we can top this Llanowar Elves knowing that on our turn 1 we'll have it. And even though it's not as good as the land sometimes, like, because, you know, in a game with, like, Wrath of Gods and stuff, you know, if he blows up the Llanowar Elves, it's like he blew up a land sometimes. It's fine. Thought Erasure. What are you going to take? Spellbreaker? Daredevil? Actually, yeah, Daredevil would maybe be a threat to you. Yeah, because then I'd be able to pick up his Thought Erasure. So we can go Spellbreaker or Growth Chamber Guardian. Growth Chamber Guardian isn't really at its peak for a little bit anyway. If we play one, we can get in for 1 now. And if we play Spellbreaker, I think it's equal damage, right? In the long run, because yeah, it's equal damage if we play Spellbreaker with haste right now. If we play it as a 4/4, not great at math, to be honest. What can you have if I played as a 4/4? Not a ton, honestly. So it's pretty much like he can Teferi bounce it or mortify it or something. And after 3 hits with a 3/3 makes 9, and this 2 hits makes 8. So its third hit will make it worthwhile. So we don't have to hold up mana with Llanowar Elves. We'll just run these guys out there, and I think maybe we'd be conservative with the Growth Chamber Guardian, just considering like the lack of resources in our hand, and our like vulnerability at the moment against Kaya's Wrath. We don't want to overextend and then have him Kaya's Wrath, and all of a sudden we're playing off the top of our deck. Ugh. That's yucky. Okay. Well, we just whiffed on that one. We're just going to play the Growth Chamber Guardian now while we can and adapt it. Maybe our opponent gets greedy and we get lucky and take out his Hostage Taker. But he might have learned his lesson. I don't know. Alright. He's got the 4/4 blocker. So we got 2 for 1 by the Hostage Taker. And yeah, we'll just send in our 4/4 here. And I'd rather run out the Rekindling Phoenix because it's a lot worse, I think, if this gets discarded. Even though I think actually if there's a consideration to run out the Growth Chamber Guardian, I'd rather just get rid of I'd rather just get the Phoenix out there. The more chances I have for a Phoenix sticking around, the better, because that card it's like Despark, Vraska's Content, which they don't play a ton of, or kind of bust. It's really hard to 2 for, like, even if you wanted to 2 for 1 it, it's kind of hard to string 2 removal spells together like that. So we can get in with the Spellbreaker. I kind of just like playing Growth Chamber Guardian. I don't know. And we can adapt on his turn. Just when it's like inconvenient for him. So like he can right now, okay, he'll target the Llanowar Elves specifically. So that tells me he probably doesn't have a removal spell for the Growth Chamber. Otherwise he would have probably forced me to use it, unless he's doing this knowing I'm going to use it. But like that's like a tad risky, because then I could have just bricked him maybe. That is a play. So yeah, we can rock the Spellbreaker here and get in for 7. I think we've seen all the Growth Chambers, right? Yeah, this is the last one. Yeah, I like that. Let's do a haste. Opponent at 10. Should we play the last Growth Chamber Guardian? Or nah. And I'll save this in hand maybe if I'm sandbagging this. Just in case he has the Bell dude. 4-mana guy. Yeah, if we play the Chamber Guardian, if he has to, like, he definitely had a Kaya's Wrath. I mean, he definitely doesn't have a Kaya's Wrath, so he'd have to rip one off the top. And we're out of other Growth Chamber Guardians. Normally this would be a little bit of like overextension, but our opponent's facing, you know, almost lethal damage right now, so I'm down to just keep the beats coming. Alright, so now we have Domri, and he's going to fight off something. Probably just the Elite Guard Mage here. I am more terrified of him like Tefaring back his own Hostage Taker, but I think he's just going to like get rid of something himself anyway. Let's do Gruul Spellbreaker because he has Hexproof, fighting the Guard Mage. And yeah. Alright, so that's how you win a match after a game of literally nothing. We lost game one. We're supposed to be favored game one, I'd imagine, because that's typically how aggro rolls. But control decks, they are so stacked right now, and the fact is, like, our sideboard is just really, really strong. I'm a really big fan of it. I'm still not sure, and I agree with some of the people I've seen tweets from about the Collision Colossus. I don't really know when that comes in and how satisfied I am with like bringing in just for Hydroid Crisis. But I think this deck's really solid. I'm really enjoying the new Domri, and Domri's Ambush seems really cool as well. So I can, if I really wanted to, I'm not being a arrogant or anything, but this is the perfect deck if I just wanted to jam games, because you just need like a 60% win rate and just you jam a bunch of games and all of a sudden you're a mythic. But like this seems like a great deck to climb with, and another really aggressive deck to take down this very controlling metagame right now. So if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, ring the bell so you know the next time I'm uploading a video. Keep your eyes out. I'm gonna start working on some higher quality content, less on Arena and more just about these other Magic videos, where I really want to take the channel in terms of talking more about strategy, news, and upping your game and just playing the best you can, which is, I know, ironic because I make mistakes on camera, but usually that's because I'm just talking to you guys. And yeah, we're doing well on subscribers. I'd love to see more join our School of Sharks. Is that a School of Sharks? And what's a group of sharks called? A pod of sharks? I'll figure that out, and then it'll be like, welcome. But anyway, definitely just let me know what deck you want me to play next. Some of the decks that I have been considering finishing off. I've been working on Aristocrats, and that's been a little hard, but having fun with that. And there's some other juicy decks that I've seen that range from competitive to just fun and interesting. So anyway, this is the Mana Shark. Peace out.